Okay, so I'm waiting for Canvas. View, remote.
Hello. Hi. Me and my camera. Let's see. I'm in the office today. I had the pleasure of seeing Kim in person.
Yeah, that's so exciting.
Hi, Professor. How are you today?
Fine, thanks. Let me just get my audio working.
Gemma says she'll try to make it. She's in a meeting right now with the parking folks, so I think we can get started.
Perfect.
If Sam can take the lead.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
All right, so let me share my screen and I will show you kind of how I set up the audit part of your course using Canvas groups. And there's really two different ways that I wanted to show you. So first I'll show you where we access the group. So in Canvas, you set up your groups through the People tab.
Okay.
And what we did is we just made the whole class be in one group because we know it was important that the whole class is able to see what each of the different groups are doing.
Let me jump in quickly, 1 sec.
Yeah.
Sam. So imagine that the Samantha Math Sandbox 2 is one of your courses.
Okay.
So let's say that's one of your fall 2026 courses. And so within your People tab, that's where a group would need to be created within your course. But the students would not have access to like other content within the course. Okay, so it becomes two separate things, but within one course.
So originally what I had it is we made a additional course with
It will be different in Canvas, correct?
So basically it will be a separate part called, and the students gain access to it by people. Is that how they're going to gain access?
So if the People tab is enabled for them, yes. But also, when students are added to a course inside of Canvas, over here in their global navigation bar, the green bar, they will have a groups button. And they will click on groups and they'll see a list of any group that they're a part of across all of their courses. So they can easily access it that way.
Hold on.
Bless you.
In all their courses in Canvas?
Correct. If other professors that they have decide to also utilize groups, they'll have just an ongoing list of where all.
Okay, why don't you show it to me and then rather than me, just show me what. Okay, so there's one group. The entire class is one group.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
So like I put 10 fake students in this group.
Okay.
And so when I drop it down, here are my 10 students.
Okay.
And so you, as the instructor of this course, when you come here to the People tab and we click on these three dots, you can click on Visit Group Homepage. And what this is going to take us to, think of this as like a Canvas course within your overall Canvas course. So this is where the students can collaborate with one another within your course. So, and students will be able to, you and students would be able to post announcements within this space. Students could also start their own discussion posts within this space. If I were to click on pages, what I did is I recreated what one of your groups did in a previous semester.
Okay.
So this was just group one.
Right.
And you can see it's a lot of pages, and I think in the course you had like 10 groups.
Right.
So So this would be something to think about because this list would get very long.
Right.
However, students would be able to see, as long as there's that clear naming convention on each page, would easily be able to see, okay, what each group is doing. And this is using the Canvas pages inside of Canvas, like the native ones. So if I were a student, or even you could come in here and add your own page, and you could create your content natively in this space.
So is new page like creating a new group?
Not creating a new group, just creating a new like content item.
Okay.
I think that's what they were referred to in the Blackboard course. But it's just being able to just type it up natively here in Canvas. So each student would come in here and could create their own page for those individual assignments and those individual activities. My biggest recommendation, though, is just making sure that the naming convention, we're starting with that group number. That way it stays in order. Because on this pages list right here, by default, it's going to go in alphabetical and numerical order. So we would just want to make sure it starts with that group.
And what are the checks there, the check boxes to the left? What are they supposed to do?
So this is how, because anybody inside this group not only has the ability to add a page, they also have the ability to delete pages. So if there was like a list of multiple pages I wanted to delete, I could go in there and then hit my trash icon.
But it's not... See, the way it was done before is they got the assignment and they did it as the semester went along. So, for instance, in the beginning, it was completely blank, no content whatsoever. Mm-hmm. Then we made through Zoom, we created randomly groups. Mm-hmm. And then through their groups, if they were, Samantha was group 1 and Andrea was group 2 and I was group 3, we would be going into our groups and then we would be sharing our information in our groups. This way, are you saying that everything, the students will see this as well, or I'm just seeing this in the back end?
No, so inside of this space, students will see this, but this is as if this stuff has already been completed. I just wanted to show you what it would look like after students. But yes, you're right. At the start of a semester or the course, this page would be blank. And as students are, getting into the groups and doing those assignments, then they would come in here and add that page.
But you can't condense it where I just see group 1, group 2, 3, 4, and 5 this way.
Right. Not on this way. Now there is another way that I wanted to show you.
Okay.
So this is kind of like the native Canvas way.
Okay.
But to your point, yes, we're not able to kind of collapse them, which I know that would probably be beneficial.
Yes.
So another way that students could do this is from the Files section within the group.
Okay.
So if I click on Files, here you'll see I already have folders set up for each group.
That's much better.
And when I go into group 1, I also went ahead and made individual folders for each of those. Now, with this way, students would be creating their assignments on a doc, like a Google Doc or a Word doc outside of Canvas, downloading it as a PDF, and then uploading it to these folders. They can't do the native Canvas page in these folders.
Okay.
Oh, you're muted, Andrea.
That's the trade-off here. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. But can I have let's say under proposal, under group 1, where's the group going to go up a level? Okay, what I like to see here, and I don't know if I can see it, is what we do is we are able to see who's in every group. So can I have, like I did before, group 1, and then I see Sarah, her email and her phone, Samantha, her email and phone, and Andrea right in here like I did before?
What we could do would...
And then that way I can even say, oh, I'm in group 1, and sometimes what we want to do is this way I can see easily, I can text Andrea, let's say she's in group 3, you're in group 2, and I'm in group 1. Group 3 really got it right. Let me contact, it's easy. Let me contact Andrea, see what's happening with them. Also, what I do is they present to me through Zoom their updates. It's sort of almost, you can think about it as they're going along with the project or even in the final project, they present. So I have even my TA say, okay, who's in group 1, right? Okay, Sarah, Sam, and Andrea. Who's presenting? Andrea, you're going to start first. We can see it. So I like to see who's in each group rather than going into that. Is that possible?
Yeah, so maybe, I'm not sure it'd be possible right here from this page, but what we could do is add an announcement inside of this space. And that announcement could list out all of the groups with all the contact information. That way, if you know, okay, I want to contact someone real quick, you could.
Yeah,
you could
no, but go back to where we were before. You can't put like a couple of lines after that group 1.
What about Professor doing a group 0, and then within the group 0 folder it contained a document with the group assignments?
What do you mean a group assignment?
Like a folder that says group 0.
Right.
And so that would be on the top, and then within that have a document that had the group assignments, like one document that had, Andrea, Sarah, and Samantha, and then it had their group assignments.
Okay, I'm just wondering, how did you create? Let's create a group 0. Show me how to create a group 0.
Yep. So I'd come up here and click on add folder.
Okay. Now on that, I only can do, I can have like a subname. I can have folder name. And then could I have then maybe there, why don't you put in dash Sarah? Okay, but I can't do like a second line. Can you press enter for the folder?
The folder.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe I can do something like that.
But maybe, I think maybe at least adding the names to the groups would help. And then maybe there's a document within the group folder with the specific contact information.
Okay, once I go into group 1,
Yep.
Yeah, this seems to be better. And then at least maybe we can put their names, and then there could be another, maybe in group 0 with all their contact information.
Yep. Yeah, I think that could work. I think adding the names to the
First name, last name.
Mm-hmm.
We're not just waitresses, you know what I mean? But first name, last name, and then maybe their email file. Okay. But there's no other. Okay, and that's called the autogram.
So I think from an organizational standpoint, the files section is going to be.
Yeah, that definitely is more. That's more like it.
Yeah.
And then they all can do their group, add their names, and then maybe go into group 1. Be so kind. And then in group 1, maybe at this point, they could have even a part of where their name, maybe there could be another folder like Andrea said, of all groups and their descriptions, something like that, where they could see.
Yep.
Because I did notice in your Blackboard course you had a group 0.
That was for the group 0 was for myself and the TAs to be able to give them examples. So for instance, if they had to do an assignment, they, even though we give pretty detailed, they say, what's the end product going to look like? And then it's also tutorials there, so they always could go to group 0. Group 0 kind of would be the lead. This is what your folder should look like. This is what the text should look like. If they had to do a website, this is the final website, what it looks like at the end. They have to put in their URL, things like that. So all their group assignments in group 0, we could do 0A or something like that. It doesn't matter. I use group 0 just for programming. A lot of times programming starts with 0. But our group 0 was, these are the sample basically of all your, of myself and your TAs. We're a group on our own. And we're leading that all. You know.
Was there anything else in here that you wanted to?
Oh, okay, and so let's say if we did group 0, start with group 0. Let's go back. So I would see. So I created group 0, and then I could put. So in order to edit it, you would just click on it.
Oh, to edit the name?
Yeah.
Yes. Or we'd come over here to the 3 dots and click rename.
Okay, rename. Now, is there a length? I'm just wondering. So if I put Sam, just put your last name, Sam. Or you can make up a name, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And then in that case, if you made up, well, even after your name there, I'm just wondering how long can this be?
I'm not sure that there's a limit. So
because maybe we could put Sam Mathis and then just put email. Just type in, email at or something. You know what I mean? Do it as your phone number. So I'm just wondering if they could do that. Email and then just put your cell number. And then I'm just wondering if we continued with it and then Andrea did the same. Then maybe it would wrap around. Because it's really good to see it right there.
I agree.
You know what I mean? It's like, I want to see it. And it's just for myself, if I want to contact them, I don't have to go to 3 different places.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like it's cut. Oh, no, it's not.
No.
Okay, so
can you keep on going?
Yep, I'm going.
Right.
Yeah.
You understand? Then maybe after that file name.
All right, let's see what this
Okay.
looks
We
like.
will have to check to see if there's any
So it's not
character
gonna wrap.
limitations. Yeah.
What?
It's not gonna wrap.
Right, but can I click on it? To see it?
Oh, what the heck? Hold on.
Can we widen it? That column?
No, we don't have the ability to do that.
And what is on the actions? What is that size? That's just the size of the folder, I guess.
Yeah, the storage size. Yeah.
Move to delete, and then I bet there must be a way in which you could see what was in that.
I mean, when I hover over it like this,
Yes.
it pops up.
Yeah, okay.
So.
That's a good idea. At least we
Yeah,
can hover
yeah.
over it. But I have to
Yeah.
go in order to hover it. I can't
Yeah,
hover it.
let's
Just
let's
hover
test
over
it.
there. Doesn't hover there. Interesting, huh?
No,
And
it
what's
kinda
to
come-
and to the
yeah.
left is just what I can do with it, right? To the left of name, that first one. Yeah.
to the left? Yeah.
But at least we can start with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is it within mine, and this is groups. And then there would be another section and then there's another place where, and here they can see each other's work, right?
Correct. Yes.
As long as they're all in that same one group under your
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Which is the intention. So it's like you don't have to create these separate groups. You just create one group in the people page, and then the folder structure within the group.
But the students will create the group 1, group 2, group 3, 4.
Correct. Yeah.
And they do that by
Just
by files,
plus
by
the-
folders.
plus
Yeah, so they go to files and then they'll
Pick
add
up
folder.
the folders, so they have to do their folders. And then and then if I go to group 1, And let's say go all the way down. So let's say the first one is, so if we go to group screen recording assignment, click on that. Then this is where they drop the files to upload.
Correct, yes.
But, so what did you say was different here versus Blackboard?
Or here, what they're going to do is they would be creating this assignment in like a Word doc or a Google doc and downloading that to their computer and then uploading it here, as opposed to like creating that content item like they did in Blackboard.
Right.
Okay. And search file. So here and then they have to know what the naming. So they can't do like a description of what was happening there. Do you have my Blackboard? Or do you want
I
me
do.
to?
Let me bring it up. There it is.
Or I can bring it up. You want me to do it, Andrea?
I'm still logging in, so if you have it handy,
Yeah, let me just see.
that's great. If not, I am
Yeah.
trying to get there.
We'll see who.
Let's see. Because it is a business. It starts with a B. BTE 210 one?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So that's fall 2020. Let me see.
I can share mine if you want.
Here we go.
You
Okay.
go.
Let me just bring up the Zoom and share. And let me know if this is an appropriate course to share.
Okay, so go to assignment groups. All right, and see here, group, what is, see here also what they did in their group 0. If you looked at it, and I don't know how, right, yeah, go back.
Right here.
Yeah, the advantage here, Sam, is I have all the groups, and the first group is, these are basically all my TAs, and they put myself in there too, right? And what we did, instead of having to go into each group, what they do when they do their consulting, you can see that their name, for instance, you see the URL, brands, lens, consulting.com. So basically it was easy for each one to say, hey, what's your final project? And you could see that somebody did Reflect AI, an AI mental health support, or a smart tutor, that it was easy to see there. Now if you go into group 1, and then it was easy to find everybody, you see it's easy to go through. And then if you just get individual, the first thing problem was to do let's say a individual screen recording assignment. Go ahead and click on that. And see in the individual screening recording assignment, they have to put in who's the name in it, their attached file. This was the file format they needed to do, the date, their name, right? And then they had right here, rather than going into the file and looking at the file, they were able to give what player they used, what was the price, whether it was open source, here what they showcase, and here were takeaways, and here were challenges. So they also have that available. So you could see easily before you went in and saw their recordings.
Right.
You see descriptions of what they have. So it's sometimes you don't even need to see that, and you can see among others, oh, Ava ended up using OBS, right? And this way. Your way, I can't oversee all of that. Is that correct? Is that a true statement? I'd like to have an overview when I'm
Yeah.
looking at who's doing it, also when Andrea says, I need a screen recorder, let me just see what everybody's doing, you have to dive into the minutia to be able to see it. And Andrea doesn't want to listen to their 5-minute description, right? Just
Yeah.
give it to me in summary. And then if you go back to assignment groups, and then just if you go even to group one, just go into group one, doesn't matter. When you go into group one, you see here they have their fun, the Zoom, and then you can see here their Zoom individual assignment. Go to their Zoom individual assignment, the second one. So each of them have to do, you see they end up having go up a little bit. So you see here, Ava right there, the Zoom local recording, is the link is above. Now they also do Zoom cloud recording. This is their URL. They also do YouTube live streaming. This is how I get to the YouTube. What did they showcase? And then they take from AI Companion. AI Companion does key takeaways, showing that they can use AI companions. And then they do their own takeaways. And then they talk about their challenges. So this is a way in which they know for themselves, even they do so much, right, Sam and Andrea, that this is a way they can do it. This is a way in which they can showcase. I can see it, my TAs can see it, and everyone else can see what is the format and what they're doing. And I don't see I'm able to do that in the file folders of just opening up a file, right? I need those. I want to see this description, that it's easier. One, it's easier for my graders.
Yeah.
Two, it's easier for you. And then if you want to see what their YouTube live streaming looked like, if it's working appropriately, you could just click on that right away and see it. And it also shows for when they do their internships or go into it, they can just basically show their employer, just go to this link, and you can see how I described it. So that I always tell them nobody cares about what you did they don't want to see your second exam, but they want to see what can you do for me. Already they can see, I didn't know I could live stream to YouTube, that they have a channel that I can do it in the same time as I'm recording in Zoom. So those are I wanted you to see that not only is this, that these links are going to be important as well.
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit tough.
You understand what I wanted to do? So it's just not putting them in groups, but I am actually.
And that was part of the challenge that I know Sam was met with, because initially the pages would give you that look and feel that you want from what we were just showing, with the links and the content and everything, but then you end up having this long page. So then the other option to be able to have it chunked out better would be the files, but there isn't a way to put the two together right now.
And in the files, there's not a way in which do you understand the files? I don't want to be looking at, you're like in detail with the files, right?
Right, yeah.
Unless
It's like
you require them to do a summary page as part of their submission in the individual assignment folder. They could do like the individual assignment folder, and then have each person have a folder within that individual assignment, and within their folder they can have a summary page, and then they can have their document with the links. Or it's just a doc. I guess I'm making it more complicated, because if I actually think about it, and let me go back into Zoom, hold on, share.
Do you understand? I want you to hear my intention.
I know.
Yeah.
The intention, because if you just look at it and try to repeat it, so what does it matter? Just upload a file. But my problem is upload.
It's a file, but when they open the file and it does the preview of the file, and that's something we can look at when Sam shares. When you click on the file and you click on the document that the student uploads, it will be a document that they can have this whole thing show within the screen within Canvas. So it's not as if they're forced to download and open a file.
See, I need this part. If you look at this student, Ava, right, and then go down, if you keep on going down, Andrea, you see this next student, individual sign, Aiden, right? He has his attached file, he has his Zoom. See this? So they see the difference between an MP4 file where you're recording to your computer versus you're recording to the cloud. I want them to be able to understand that, and when do I want to use recording to this computer versus recording to the cloud? When do I want to do a showcase? When do I have my AI bullet points, my takeaways, right? And everybody has that format. If you go down, see Roxy, the same thing.
Right.
So everybody has it. So it's easy for me to see. Number one, I go to another group. So I'm using the groups to audit them. That also within your group, Andrea, you can go and see what Sam and Sarah have done, and you say, you know what, you're missing this, Sarah, I'll help you. So my idea here, you're not going to do it for me, Andrea, but when I get stuck, how did you even get those bullet points? You know, my YouTube is not working. Well, that's important too, because when we're going to do group projects, Andrea, your YouTube, you are able to stream, I'm not able to stream, so you'll have to start each of our group assignments, Andrea, because you have it set up that you can sign. Because sometimes things happen and somebody's not approved. You know, I don't have. It's all about who has control. I don't have control over Google, right? I don't have control over YouTube. So if they reject you, Sam, for some reason, you have to document it, and I can't. I can give you advice. You know, use another Gmail account or don't use the university's account or something like that. So it's a way in which you're going to help your group too. So it's different than other classes, Andrea, where you do your own work, you don't share with your work, you know what I mean? It's personal. Other things, when they do some assignments, you know, like their tests, nobody has business to see their tests. You know, you'll be your test score, Andrea, is private to you. It's Samantha and myself. Our test scores, and we can not see our exams. You understand? So things so we talk about, you know, that privilege of when do we want to, what I give permission for other people to use versus some things are private, you know. I don't have, Sam, I can't see what you do in other classes, but I have, you know, that least privilege to do my job, I need to see everything. So those are, so that idea of that oversight is important. It's not just doing, to be honest with you, it's not just seeing that you're a great, you know, you did a wonderful video, but rather what are the descriptions about those videos. Later on you can improve it, you know, and be more fluent or something like that. So everything.
Okay. I'm trying to do a quick test here. Just within.
I just want you to understand the essence of why that is. Of essence of getting the big overview, rather than going into individual files and looking in 3 different places to see who are in the groups. And that's not so bad, you know, that if there was a file that I could look at everybody's, maybe even make it is everybody's, who's in each group and their name, you know, email and phone. But to oversee what they've done.
Okay, so I'm in a demo course as a student, okay?
Okay.
So as a student, I see groups. This is what Sam was talking about as a student.
Okay.
So they can either go into your course and then navigate to groups, or they have a sidebar of groups.
Okay.
And so you could call it, you know, your course code, audit, and just like what you did today.
Right. Okay. I see that.
Okay.
That's not a problem.
So then, what I was thinking is within here, you know, like what we were demonstrating with the folders, right? I could create a folder. Let's say my group is group 2, just for demonstration purposes.
Right. And we can know that. Okay.
Like, okay, so,
Okay.
phone number, email
Right.
address. Create folder. Now, I'm just playing right now.
Yeah,
Okay?
right.
Just off the top. So I can choose a file. I understand this is not what,
I know. Go ahead.
and I just copied from the Blackboard, okay? And then
Okay,
I'll
fine.
delete it. And then
Doesn't
when, as a myself or with you or any student within
Right.
that group,
Right.
it'll open in this window, and then it's always slow the first time.
Okay.
I don't know why Canvas does that.
Document. Wow. Yeah.
It's usually not this slow. It might be my computer.
Okay, but anyways. But where do I? But I have to go into each.
It is, yeah. It's going to record. Unfortunately, we are going to have to click into each file or click into each Canvas page if we were to go that route.
My computer's making a lot of noise right now, so it's probably my computer.
I have one right here, Andrea, if you want me to.
Okay.
So this is one that I copied from the Blackboard course.
Okay.
So when I click on that file, like I just copied and pasted this information into a Google Doc and downloaded that. So, and this is where I could see the overall information. But yes, it is going to require you to click into each one to get this preview.
It's not going to be the same exact experience.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to there isn't going to be a way to give that overview without clicking into each one.
It's not like a description.
Mm-hmm.
Alternatively, it would be in pages instead, but then you would have the long list, and as long as they have the naming structure, there isn't a perfect world, no.
Okay, well, what does pages look like?
So pages was that first one that I showed
Yeah,
you.
show it to me again.
Show it, yeah, so this is when they're creating everything natively in Canvas. Let's let this load. So here's my list of all the
So what
pages
is
that
under? So it says Group 1, okay? And
Yep.
what do I have under Group 1?
So this is just a page. So when I click on Group 1, I believe
Yeah.
this is where I put the contact information. Let me see. Yeah. But
Okay.
again, you're gonna have to click into it to see it. And then go back
So
to
it could be Group 1. Right. So this is where everything in the front, the VAPI, right. So you can't copy, view all pages. That can't be.
No, that's a button to go back to the rest of the pages.
Yeah, so go back there.
Okay.
What happened? Okay. So, but I guess in the beginning, right. Well, I guess the beginning, the Group 1 could have their names.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we could add the names to the title.
Yeah. So at least it could be Group 1, the names to the title, and then it may be better to do it that way. So it wouldn't be, and then in that first one, then it would be, yeah.
Adding, I forget what the, let's see.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Just put some in. You can just make up a name. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. So yeah, we could at least have it listed out.
Can you see?
Reason up on me. There we go. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah, at least it would be,
like
right,
that.
right. At least you
And then if you want the further contact
Contact
information, you
information,
click
right,
into the page.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
get as much as you can, at least, and I can.
Yeah. And then click into it to get emails and phone numbers.
And under select audit group,
So this is like for you as a teacher, if you had multiple, right now we have this just set up as one group, right? We put all the students into one group in Canvas, but if you had multiple groups set up in Canvas, this is where you could easily switch between groups, but for your use case, you won't need to do that.
okay, but if I have two sections for myself, then I would have audit group attached to each class, or I could have audit group section H and audit group section J.
Yep. We could definitely set you up with those separate groups for your sections. Yep, and then this is how you could easily switch.
Are the sections merged into one course? Or are there two separate courses and you have two separate audits?
In the past, what I have is, this is how I did it in Blackboard, and maybe we can discuss that as well, is in the past, I've had two separate sections with every time I had to duplicate it, right?
So it might work to cross list and then do the two separate groups, for sure.
You know what I mean? And then the only thing is I wanted to make sure is I do this, just so you know, I do this all online except their exams. Their exams, they go into a lab. So I think it was a problem at one time of figuring out. I wanted to make sure when they go to the lab during their class time. And they used to go into Blackboard and take the exams through Blackboard. So I guess I can make that, I imagine I can make those exams through.
Yeah, you make those through the regular Canvas course.
I can make those exams and then they can take it online, right?
Correct. Yes.
Is that a true statement? And there was two parts. One was multiple choice. There was a test, then they took that, and then they went in again and took the essay part. It was like part 1 and part 2. I don't know how that works. And that way it would just be in their grade book, it would be just they could just check their grade book. If I merged it, what would be the difference? Which would be good if I merged it, and then, when there was an assignment, it would be,
you can assign it to the sections if you wanted to, or they can have, if they have the same assignment in both sections.
Yes, they do.
The same assignment. So there's no need to differentiate there. When you're in the grade book, you can filter by section and be able to just focus on the one section if you wanted to.
So if I have TAs that do the grading and I have them do the grading by section, then my TAs can do that.
Yes.
Okay. And okay. So when there's what was the issue before is I used to have them set up the first week there was adds and drops, so I never started the audit groups until the second week. But then if somebody came in at the very end, it was like they added at 12 midnight, at 11:59, they weren't in the class, then at that time I could add them to the group. This way they'll be in the group, how would that work?
Yeah, so let me head back to that people tab to show you what that would look like. Okay, so I'd come back out to, I just followed the breadcrumbs up here. I want to head back to the main course, which is my sandbox for this example. So if you go to your people tab and we switch over to the group, the audit group, if you were to have anybody add your course after you already made the initial group, their name is going to appear over here under unassigned students. And so all you would have to do is just drag and drop them. So if we open this up, kind of like move the names around.
Mm-hmm.
You would just have to drag and drop their name over here. That way, that group page that we've been at this entire time will then appear for that student.
Okay. And I assign their random groups through Zoom.
Okay.
And then when they create, pardon?
And then you just manually create it in Blackboard, or have
They manually created it.
Okay.
So through Zoom, the first time we ended up in a group together. We know we're group one. Now, this is how I used to do it. Now, create a folder called group one and put all your information. I have you do the work. It's like you filling up your own gas.
Right.
Right, and then that was another way to understand what was the ins and outs of being basically Blackboard, because they had they were able to edit it because they were all teaching assistants. In this case, doing what you need to do, this is they have by putting it under. So what gives them the authority to do this?
By placing them inside of this group set that I have here, and using that group page, like when we visited that group homepage, students inside of that space automatically have the permissions to create their own pages, discussions, all of that.
Okay, so that's just within that same section.
Just within that space, exactly, not inside of the overall course.
Okay, and then they need to, if we merge the classes, they need to they only are going to get the audit group section H.
Correct, yeah. So when you would come in here, so let's go, I didn't mean to click everything, sorry. Okay, I'm going to create a new group set to kind of show you how we could do the two. So I would hit new group set name. We're going to go ahead, let's call this auto groups. I'm just going to put demo.
Okay. Allow self sign up. Is that correct?
Do you want them to sign up at their own, or is it because you want them just automatically separated by their sections, right?
Yeah, because it'll be group one and group two.
Right, exactly. So what you could do,
because they're groups, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it would be too confusing if all of them got to see
absolutely.
20 groups, I would think. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we could allow self sign up.
Yeah.
And then we could also check require group members to be in the same section.
Yeah, that's good.
That way, when then they would come to this people page.
Create groups now. So who create groups now? I would have to create the 10 groups, right? No, or they would do it.
In this space, you're not creating the 10 groups. You're just creating the spaces for. It's almost like in your class now, you're going to have like groups within this Canvas group. So here, you're only creating the 2 groups for your 2 sections. Then in Zoom, outside of Canvas, when you create your 10 groups, then the students would come into that dedicated space and create their folders.
Yeah, but do they have to say, I'm group 1? Where do they put, I'm group 1? Or I'm group 7?
We'd save that here. Then, so now I have my 2 groups, right? And we could.
But if I'm a student, I'm only going to see. Am I going to see audit groups? Let's put section. Let's rename it and say audit groups section. And let's put section J or section H and section J. Okay, and the other one. And J. Okay.
And then when so right now I'm on the teacher side, but when students come in here, they will have the ability to join either of these groups. But because we check that box can only be in their enrolled section, they will only have the ability, like students who are enrolled in section H won't be allowed to join section J. They'll
Right.
only have the option to join section H.
Because their names are attached to that.
Exactly, exactly. And then, so once students have been at, or they've gone to their particular section, then once they know, okay, I'm in group 2, then they go to that dedicated space, and depending on whether you want them to use the pages or you want them to use the file folders, they would go into either of those areas.
And what is collaborations?
Collaborations is a tool that they can use where they can create joint shared documents, whether it's Microsoft or Google. It's just another way for them to collaborate together on shared docs, but they could do it within Canvas.
So when they had their group, they have they'll have to do like a individual Zoom recording, and then they have to do a group Zoom recording. So in collaborations, can you click on it?
So over here, they would select add collaboration, then they would choose which one they want to use, and it's going to require them to log in with their credentials, and then they could...
Of UM. Their UM credential.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. But that doesn't solve my problem. It doesn't address it.
But it's just another way for students to collaborate.
And I'm just looking at, and then announcement, okay, and discussions.
Yep, so this is a place if students wanted to have like ongoing discussions.
Oh, okay,
I noticed in your audit group you had one for like issues or
right.
So yeah, you or the students could create discussions here.
So it seems like the files is worse than the other alternative, right? Pages is the best for me.
The only thing with Pages, let me go back to the original one. It's just that page is going to get very long.
Yeah.
So as long as you're okay with that, then yeah, I think Pages is nice because it's all right there, and students can just kind of create everything in Canvas. It's not they don't have to create a separate doc, download it, and then upload it. Find that original one. Going back to Pages. So like I said, I just recreated.
No, it was good that you did it because that's
So here's just group 1, and we see like the number of pages that are there. So just know if you have 10 groups.
Yeah. So there's nothing that I can put all this and put a root saying just group 1.
Right. No, not in this area. But from a bird's eye
feedback that we'll be sending.
What?
Sure. It's feedback that we'll be sending back to Canvas,
But I also want to remind you all, like, we're trying to make groups is designed to be more it's not an organizational tool, right? It's more collaborative. So while I do wish that we could use modules in groups.
Right, but basically a module. That's good.
Yes, and I hear that. But I also know modules is not a student tool, which is why it's not in this student space. But yeah, I think having some sort of...
So show me what modules are.
Well, modules is outside in the...
Yes, but show me.
Within your course, yeah.
Yeah, just show me what modules are. Because basically, I want them to have instructor, that's how I got around it in Blackboard, is give me a section that they have no grades, they have no content, it's completely, they won't do it, they will not do any harm.
Right.
No harm done.
Right, and that's what groups is.
yeah, but really what I want is,
So this is module. So this is how it just got pulled in
yes,
from your Blackboard course. And yes, I agree. This type of setup would be ideal.
yes,
It's just in order for students to be able to use modules, they have to have teacher permission. So I
yes,
have to, but I have to set that over to and they
right.
have
And
to make that call.
unfortunately, all enrollment for teacher and student comes through our K-Link feed. It's not something that we're manually creating in Canvas, and that's why groups is the option here. So we cannot create a separate course for this. No, because we're not getting away from what was happening in Blackboard in creating manual courses where the enrollment is manually done. All enrollment has to come through our feed.
So when I have teaching assistants,
Those are the TAs are the ones where um, the instructor has to provide instruction, but we're also moving away from that manual and working with the schools to have that come through our K-Link feed as well. It's still manual today in most places, but we are moving away from that as well.
so how am I going to get my TAs in there?
Right now, it's still a manual request like you've been doing in Blackboard, but we're working with the individual schools and colleges where it's through the department scheduler. So at the School of Business, they have a department scheduler, and they will automate and they will tie a TA to the instructor. So then every course that you teach, the TA would be automatically added without having to do this manual.
I got it. But right now it's manual.
It's still a little bit manual. Like some areas have adapted, and we're still working with other areas, including law school, business school, and other schools.
So under assignment groups, what, so this came through how, Sam?
The migration, because I think exported it.
From
Yes,
where?
but these were basically, yeah, but these were like those folders underneath that I think assignment groups tab there in Blackboard. And so when I click on this, I think this is where it just kind of gave those instructions,
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
but everything
this,
got,
right. This was exported by our team for the purposes of this demo.
Yeah, okay.
um, and then with the migration, the way like the folder structure was in Blackboard, it came over as modules inside of Canvas, which is why we'll see like group 0 is its own module and group 1 is its own module.
Yeah.
But right now we're not able to leverage modules in that group space. So there's that gap.
Sam, I made you the host. I have to drop them, unfortunately, Professor. I'm sorry for
Yeah.
having to drop, but we can do a follow-up meeting if you'd like. Just let me know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I also have another meeting that I need to run to.
Yeah, okay. So this, basically you got it. Really, this, you're not giving me permission, but I really wanted, you can see how well this works for the students in the audit area.
Mm-hmm.
Where they, yeah, that you can see already.
Yeah, this would be ideal. It's just
Yeah, you're not giving me permission to do that. Yeah, but this is.
If it came through our K-Link feed, you would have permission. But unfortunately,
I know, but I'm just saying in general, right?
Okay.
That in general, and then it allows me also to teach them what is it to be an administrator, right? Through that, yeah. Okay, now I understand. So maybe I'm gonna have to. So, Sam and Andrea, if you can be so kind, now I think you both have an idea of what I want. Is there, if you can think about what would be a better way for me to approach this? it's also in terms of, because it was like my mindset of me doing this so many years. It really became, and the students in the beginning were saying, what is the audit area? You know, what is the whole idea of it? But they really got a good sense of it.
Right.
Of
And
what,
yeah, we'll look at more
or,
into
yeah,
groups,
yeah,
but
if you can,
unfortunately, that's
we
what
have
the
a little
groups
bit
can
more
offer.
time, but you can see really what I wanted, and having that overview is really essential, that I can do that quick look, and I can even see, oh, these are areas I need to spend more time with. Sometimes we even have like breakout rooms, and I said, this is where I need to really get it with each individual group and see where they're having issues. You know, this was not clear, versus let's move on. You know, so it gave me an idea too, rather than I don't have the time to go into every folder and every folder within every folder within every folder. This way we can just get it, okay, where it was, and then you just,
Right.
and then a lot of times what I did is I used to highlight the best student rather than the weakest. Andrea, let's look at yours, Andrea. This is ideal. And then everybody
Right.
could, everybody wants to see what is the final product, right?
Right.
And then you can
So,
adjust. So if you can
yeah,
think
we'll have
about
to
it.
take a look, but unfortunately, won't be able to
Yeah,
do a course, a
yeah,
separate course,
okay,
so we'll not be
okay,
able
I
to do
understand.
that.
I understand
So
that.
we'll look again at groups. We may be limited initially, but we'll try to set you up as well as
Yeah,
possible.
so when,
And then Sam and I can see how we can copy what she has done to an area where you can take a look at and kind of dive in a little
exactly,
bit and
yes,
see everything, and then we can regroup and do a
regroup
follow-up.
and then get the help to get this done. You know what I mean? And you can
Yeah.
see why I prolonged this as much as possible.
I know.
And there was otherwise I would have been jumping on it in the beginning, but I
Yeah.
knew that this was not going to be easy. If it was
And
just my regular
if there's
course,
only a way for the pages to have those sections like modules, maybe not called the same or something, that's why I'm saying, like, if we could provide that feedback to Canvas. I understand that groups are intended for collaboration, but there's so many additional things that,
yeah,
what
maybe reach
Professor
out to
Resnick is
them.
doing, there might be another,
They
it won't be
reach,
something that can be done, you know, like,
or
can't
maybe
just
they
say,
have
well,
another way to work it out, or a way in which to put additional
yeah,
information in there before you're
yeah,
just uploading a file.
right. So we can look, but right now,
Okay.
I think we'll just try to copy what Sam has created to an area
Yeah,
where you
yeah,
can take a look
right.
at and do a follow-up.
Yeah,
Okay?
all right. So let's schedule a follow-up afterwards, you know. This
Yeah.
time slot works for me.
Okay.
So if you want to work on something like that on a Monday or Wednesday,
Perfect.
this
Sounds
time
good.
slot works for me.
All right. Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank
Nice
you.
to meet
Thank
you.
you, Sam.
Thank you,
Too.
Andrea, for
Bye. Thank you.
fixing this up. Thanks.
Okay.